All right, guys, welcome back. Wow, we had some big movers today, specifically with KAR, which is Avis budget. This ticker is up over 3,000, actually, I think it was over 5,000% since its low in 2020, which is absolutely crazy for a rental car company. Today, it's had a huge move, so I wanted to focus a little bit on car. I wanted to do a little bit of trading just recently on it, but it didn't go as low as I was hoping for. So I'm kind of still sitting on the sidelines, and I'll talk about where I would maybe consider trading it at this point. But the day's, kind of wrapping up here, and I was comparing it earlier to DWAC, which, if you remember, also had this huge parabolic move that two totally different companies, rental car company, car, compared to DWAC, which is a SPAC taking Trump's social media company public, but very, very similar price actions. So we'll talk about Avis, we'll compare it to DWAC, and then we'll talk about my day trades as well with the day trading recap. So let's go over to the charts and start that now. So here it is, CAR Avis budget, and look at this. So this company opened up somewhere around 171, and then just absolutely ran here to 545, 200% move, which is crazy. On the 5-minute, this thing looks robust, and on the daily, just this chart just totally messes up any other normal looking chart permanently for CAR. And I think if you're a long-term investor on this company, like, you had to sell. I hope you sold today, because I don't know if we're going to go back to 545 anytime soon. I really, really don't. This is a classic parabolic move, and we'll talk a little bit more about why that happened. Now, we had all-time lows on this ticker. I think it was like at 6. Let me go back to the daily chart. I think it shows a little bit better. Yeah, 635. Let's see if I can. Here we go. 635, and the all-time highs at 545. That was an 8,000% rally. Okay, so I calculated 5,000%, but that was, I guess, earlier today. 8,000% rally CAR had. Absolutely insane. And there's two catalysts. One is the earnings, which honestly, it's not up because of the earnings. The earnings might have caused a little bit of momentum, but I'll tell you what the big problem was, or the big catalyst was. Another reason to kind of highlight why it wasn't the earnings, if you come here and check out the earnings, we had earnings estimate at $6.89, but the actual was $10.74. So it beat its estimated earnings by quite a lot. But look at this. The last time it beat its earnings was also a huge amount. Estimated earnings, $1.15, actual $5.09. Was there a big move? No, there was a zero move. I mean, it was like a little pop, and I think it even ended on a red day. Similar over here, this was, it kind of met its estimates really, really close here. So similar action to here. So why did CAR have a huge explosive move? And I don't think it's going to be a surprise to many people. It's something we've seen a lot this year and last year, such as GameStop and AMC. Those are two classic similar moves as to what we're seeing with CAR. And the reason is the short interest. So let's just go really quickly to CAR on FinViz and scroll down here. And you'll see that the short float is at 20.47%. That is a really high short float. We were talking about swing trades yesterday that I just entered, XL and ROOT, both of which are down about 85% off their highs and have really high short interest. I love those kind of dumpster dives, because even if there's nothing good going on with the company, and even if it has a little bit of a dead cat bounce because some catalyst comes out, they oftentimes have 20-30% moves, just because there's so many shorts in there. And the second there's some momentum, day traders like me start trading it, and then shorts start covering, and it creates that kind of quick movement. And that's exactly what happened with CAR today, where it just kept spiking up one after another, just kept on getting halted. And I mean, it was insane. I was just editing my video, and I got to come back here and talk about one more thing. So when I saw when I was editing the video, I was like, I got to talk about this. The short ratio is 6.78. This is really high. This is how many days, based on average trading volume, it would take for all shorts to cover. Usually we'll see something like 2 or 3, and that's pretty high. 6.78 is really, really high for a short ratio. Add that with that nice 20% short float. This ticker was primed. I mean, absolutely primed for a short squeeze. And if we just compare that to XL and ROOT, that two tickers I went long looking for a squeeze. So XL here, short ratio 5.63 with a short float 11.44, and then ROOT Look at this one. This thing is primed for a bounce. 22% short float, but a short ratio of only 2.6. So that when I saw that 6.73 when I was doing the recap, just editing the video, I was like, hold up, pause, I gotta add this into the video. All right, let's go back to the original recording. I actually did not trade this ticker at all today. I was super focused on other tickers, OLB, SBEA, BAOS today. We'll talk about my trades in a second here, but that's why I was not trading CAR. I was kind of a little bit in disbelief the whole time CAR was moving. I was just like, no, it's just like a large cap doing, something crazy. I usually never trade large caps, so it's another reason I wasn't looking at it. But wow, I mean, I should have, could have, would have, right? On this one, big 70, 80% front side move here before it had a little bit of a flush here and a halt, but it actually recovered very well. Broke past the back above 400 and kept on running very, very clean. But then it got halted twice to the downside, 30% roughly sell off. So I was like, I would like to keep this one selling off, and maybe I'll buy it for a 50% pullback or something like that. That's really where I was waiting for and hoping for some really, really good dip buy and bounce opportunities. Now, this is the 5-minute chart on CAR. What I want to show you guys really quickly is DWAC. This is the SPAC taking Trump's social media company public. And if we just scroll back here to the big performance it had, let's zoom in a little bit. We were able to do some really fun dip trading on this one. I did tiny share size in this portfolio just to kind of play around a little bit and see if we could snag something. I'm usually never trading past 11 o'clock. I'm usually not trading, big tickers that are halting to the downside. It's not really my strategy. So for me, I was just doing a little bit of fun shots in the dark here on this one. See if I can get a little bit of a feel for the sell-off. And with DWAC, we had a 56% sell-off. Actually, that was more like a 50% sell-off. I kind of missed that one. Yeah, 52, 53, 54% sell-off. And then we had a huge bounce here, 42%. And then we had another big sell-off around 45%, and then another really big 70% bounce. So when I saw CAR going absolutely parabolic today, I was like, man, I really hope it's going to have aggressive halts to the downside, maybe 2, 3, 4 halts to the downside. And then if we see a pivot point, I would love to jump on it, especially near really, really big support like we saw with DWAC, where it had really big support around 80 and then again around these $70, $60 zone where we had a lot of consolidation pre-market. So that's kind of what I was hoping on with CAR. And that's what I was waiting for today, but we never really saw it. Eventually, we did get a bounce around here at 300, where there was earlier support, but this was only a 15% bounce, and I don't know. It wasn't something that made me want to come back from being done on the day to trading. So I didn't end up touching CAR at all, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's talk about what I did do today, because it wasn't really my best day here today. I'm down 195, which isn't the biggest red day, so it's totally fine. I was actually down like $900 for a split second because at SBEAW sold off so hard, and then I had a kind of a quick pop back up, and I just took all my losses quickly before it kept on selling off. So I kind of got lucky in a way on SBAW. But man, today was it was a tough day. It was one of those days where there was like a few good opportunities. You had to jump on it super quick and just quickly sell everything again. Like that was the trading style for today. So I'll just quickly go through these and then we'll wrap up. Starting with BAOS. And this ticker I was really foolish on. I could have been nicely green on this ticker, but I stumbled on it so hard. I've been, really avoiding trading backside lately, and it's been doing really well for me. Today, I decided to trade backside a little bit because I wasn't seeing anything I liked. And again, I got reminded why I don't like trading backside. So with BAOS, this ticker was trending down, and it wasn't really interesting to me till some volume came up right around the market open, pre-market open at 7 a.m. for TOS. And then I tried to trade this little bit of a move here. And this wasn't even a good trade because I'm trading a backside breakout. That's really a risky kind of thing to be trading. So this was just really foolish for me to be doing. Then I traded here a little bit of a ranging breakout. I was trying to hope for a $3 breakout. That never really happened. And then I had a limit order around 247. And I was like, okay, let me, there's big time support on this one around 2.5. So you can see here, big time support, multi-day, multi-month support. We even had a retest in this area. So I was thinking we'd get a little bit of a bounce there, just shy of like 2.5. So I started accumulating here, really, really small size. I'm talking about like 25% based on my average size. So I wasn't really nervous when I kept selling off. And that's the only reason I averaged down. Usually I never average down like that. If I had a full size or something, I would have cut my losses instead of averaging down. And I buy a little bit more here and here, and then eventually pops up. I'm like, oh man, I'm so close to break even on this ticker again, and start selling off. And I was just so nervous for a second flush that I closed my whole position, even though I could have probably walked away with like a 3-4% profit. So with BAOS, that was my mistake there, and down almost 600 on that one when I could have walked away with a nice little profit. So that's a bit unfortunate. And I did one more little bit of a FOMO trade here, looking for that break back above 2.4 that never ended up happening. And a lot of trades today was a lot of backside trading. I think that's a big reason I'm red. I traded SBEA and SBEA and SBEAW, which is the warrants on SBEA. And the reason I did that is because SBEA was halted and was pretty much untradeable. So I was jumping onto the warrants. The only problem was both tickers didn't have continuation. So on SBEAW, I kind of got burnt a little bit. So yeah, let's talk about that. Let's go to W. And I traded SBEA, the no warrants pre-market, and SBEAW after the market opened. So that's probably a big reason why I did much better on the non-warrants, because I love trading pre-market. It's really the time I'm usually making most of my money. And lately the market open's been so hectic. So yeah, this is the warrants on SBEA. Probably better if I talked about the original ticker first, but oh well. This ticker broke out here, big move, 50%. SBEA, no warrants, got halted, and I was like, nice, got halted to the upside. Let's actually trade the warrants because I'm not in the hold, and there's a good chance that SBEA is going to start running up. I tried to accumulate here looking for that pullback and continuation. The only thing we got was constant sell-off, which was just brutal. I mean, this sell-off here from the highs to the low was like 50%. That's an insane sell-off. It was selling off so fast. And it was one of these candles here. I think it wasn't, I think it was one of these where it popped up slightly. I closed most of my position and it kept on selling off. Then I had like a very small amount of shares left somewhere in this area that I closed, like 12 shares somewhere down here. Then I tried to do a little bit of a bottom bounce, but never really ended up working. Man, SBEA and SBEAW were such letdowns today. So a similar situation with this ticker, blue sky setup. I had really high hopes for this one because this is a SPAC that's taking Black Rifle Coffee public. So I was like, okay, a lot of people know Black Rifle Coffee. This might even be a little bit of a DWAC sympathy play because I think Black Rifle Coffee sometimes gets a little political. So I was like, okay, this could be a great sympathy play. But unfortunately, by the time the market opened, this thing was dead. But that was a pretty okay rally. So what I would probably look for on SBEA, the SPAC that's taking Black Rifle Coffee public, would be to find some good support in this ticker so we can maybe start accumulating. I think this is going to be a great overnight or a swing trade at one point. The question is, where do we want to start accumulating this ticker? And on the 5 minute, we could see there's some good support around $11 and it had a nice 14% bounce. I would probably wait a little bit longer here for maybe another retest of $11 and see if we can break that. But I think anything under $11 could be a great accumulation. So something between $11 and $10 would, I think, if we can get that for a swing trade into tomorrow or the next day or just looking forward for the week, I would do that with my retirement account hands down. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And if I do trade it, I'll be sure to. Or if I do enter the trade, I'll be sure to let you guys know in the Discord. So if you're not there yet, definitely consider joining if you want the latest updates. All right, now let me talk about these few trades I made on this one. A lot of the trades I made on SBEA were kind of fumbles, and I could have done so much better on this ticker. So let's quickly go forward here. This thing's breaking to all-time highs. Everything's looking good. I wasn't really convinced on it because I was looking at OLB and BAOS at the time. And this was kind of a larger mid cap, and I usually like to trade small caps. But on the 5 minute, you can see we're making some pretty good momentum here. And I think it was this pullback or the next pullback, I was so close to trading it, but it also wasn't up that much on the day, so I also wasn't super interested. I mean, this was only up like 20% on the day, which to me is really not that interesting. But eventually it breaks over the $12, and this is when I start getting kind of interested on it. I trade two little pullbacks here, both of which don't have continuation. I trade another pullback here, also doesn't have continuation. And I think that kind of frustrated me a little bit. Eventually we did get that breakout past, let's see, 1230 roughly, and then we had this one pullback here, and I had like like 3 entries in this area. They were all like 1 cent off, and I didn't get more aggressive. And eventually it has this perfect little front side here. If we could have just got a piece of this, 18% move, I would have been super happy today. Unfortunately, I didn't. I did do a little bit of fumbling right in this area, but overall, I don't know. I did just small size today, and I missed that one really good front side right here because I don't know. I had low conviction in SBEA. It was a SPAC that it was a mid cap. There was so many other tickers to be looking at. So yeah, shame on me. I kind of messed that one up a little bit. Anyway, opened up, had a red to green move, got halted, and then into that open, it flushed to the downside. Now this is the point where I was trading SBEAW, the warrants on SBEA. I did do a little bit of backside trading on this one, and unfortunately, I closed my whole size like at 11.06 right before the move back higher. So that was a very small loss, but at the same time, it could have been a decent winner, and that could have put me nicely green on the day. But it just was not my day. Let's quickly wrap up with CCNC and OLB. CCNC. Really not much to talk about. This trade was over before it really began. Pre-market, it was popping up very quickly. I tried to do a pullback and continuation trade. There was no pullback and continuation. So again, there's not much to talk about here. And then OLB, I'm up nicely actually on this one, $300 for my position size. Since I've reduced it drastically, it's actually pretty okay. I think my average size right now is like $4,000. So I reduced it from around $14,000-$15,000 as more momentum came into the market because I made a lot of mistakes last week. So being up $300 on roughly $4,000 position size is like a 7, 8, 9% return, which is based on my average size, which is a really, really good return. So I shouldn't even be that bummed out today on my trading, at least on OLB. This ticker had that really split second of good opportunity where it quickly popped up here. And this move was really, really nice. 90% popped up really fast. I started buying into it, but really small share size, as you can see here. 200 shares at $7.20. Unfortunately, I didn't have a bigger size. And then I sold into this next pop to the upside. And, that was my first trade on it. And just like that, I made, the 7, 8, 9% or something like that in my first trade. And I was like, all right, here we go. Unfortunately, we didn't get any continuation on this one. And it's been such a choppy ticker ever since. I traded a few pullbacks and a few potential breakouts, but nothing really warranted continuation, except here in this area where I eventually do get this pullback, but I take profits right away. I should have been accumulating size here in this area. So I was fumbling around today. I don't know if I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed or what today, but there was a few good opportunities. And I think I was so focused on maybe making back my losses on SBEA or BAOS that by the time OLB had this nice little breakout here at 9.5 that I just was not focused anymore. And I don't know, I didn't have the commitment to really trade this. Plus, I rarely ever trade after 10 o'clock. So at this point in the day, I've been looking at the charts for 3 hours and I'm kind of like, I'm a little done with trading today. So it's really like forcing it at this time. So I don't do my best trading after 10 o'clock at all. Yeah, it is what it is. And now this ticker is flushing a little bit here. Look at that. Yeah, the sketchy ticker. So I think I'm totally fine with my small red day today. We had a really good green day yesterday. And I think, keeping your losses small is always the important thing. And I'm not too bummed out about this red day at all. What I would like to see is SBEA have some really good continuation after it finds some support. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for a swing trade on this one. And honestly, OLB as well could be a good swing trade because the catalyst on this ticker is really nice. OLB shares surge as companies set to process MasterCard cryptocurrency. To me, I love those kind of catalysts. I mean, the market cap of this company now after that big run up is $94 million. And MasterCard's a huge company. So I love when small companies have contracts with larger companies, much larger companies, or government contracts. To me, that's a good multi-day runner potential. So OLB and SBEA, I think, are both great multi-day potential runners. So we'll see what kind of price action these form. Regardless if I do enter any sort of swing trade on these tickers, I will post it in the Discord, so stay tuned on there in the swing trading section. I hope some of you guys nailed Avis today, and big congrats to anyone that's been a long-term investor on Avis because woo, that was a nice move. I'll see you guys for another day trading recap tomorrow morning. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Easiest way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.